I'm Tina. Today I will read The Great and the TARDY TORTOISE. It is a very long book, but I will read. Ready, start. I, Nate the Great, am a detective. This morning I did not have a case to solve. I woke up late. I stretched. My dog's slush stretched. We looked out the window. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. A tortoise was eating. A tortoise was eating the flowers in my garden. I do not own a tortoise. Slush does not own a tortoise. Slush and I rushed out to the backyard. The tortoise started to eat a petunia, a bite here, a bite there. He started to eat a daisy, a bite here, a bite there. I Nate already like to look at flowers. Soon there would not be any flowers to look at. I stared at the tortoise. He was green, he had a thick shell and a big appetite. He did not have any teeth, but he did good work without them. I knew I must take him away. But what would I do with him? You must live somewhere, I said. You must have an address and a telephone number. I knew that a tortoise can live for a very long time. This tortoise could be 100 years old. He should know where he lives by now. He started to crawl away, slowly, very, very slowly. Was he on his way home? No, he was on his way to eat my violets. This tortoise was lost. He needed help. I said, I, Nate the Great, have never taken a case for anyone who is green and has a thick shell. But I must find out where you live and take you there. I got dressed. I wrote a note to my mother. Dear mother, I'm on a green case. I am helping a tortoise. I hope the case moves late than he does. I will be back. Love, Nate the Great. I, Nate the Great, got a box. I put lots of holes in it. Then I put the tortoise in the box. I'm taking you home, I said. Wherever that is. Where was his home? I was thinking. This tortoise is slow. Perhaps he did not crawl very far from home. Perhaps he lived near here, but he knows how to find food. He could have been crawling and eating for days. He could have eaten his way from the other side of town. This tortoise could live anywhere. I spoke to Slush. This is a strange pet. Who would own a strange pet? Slush knew the answer. We rushed to Rosamond's house with the box. We walked up the front steps. Slush sniffed the steps, step by step. I bent down to see what Slush was sniffing. It was a tray of crumbs. They led to the front door. Slush scratched on the door. Rosamond opened it. She was holding 2 crumbling cupcakes. Her cat, little Hags, plain Hags, big cat, and super Hags were eating crumbs from the floor. I have brought over all those pets, I said. Why, thank you, Rosamond said. She opened the box and saw the tortoise. This is not so cat, she said. It is green and has a shell. I do not want it. This is not a gift, I said. I found the tortoise and I'm looking for his home. Do you know anybody who has lost a pet? I heard that Claude lost something, Rosamond said. But I don't know what is it. Claude is always losing something, things. You are losing your cupcakes, I said. They are turning into crumbs. These are tuna fish cupcakes, Rosamond said. Want some? I made the great Hannah eaten breakfast. I was hungry, but I was not that hungry. Sludge was licking up the crumbs. It was time to leave. I said goodbye to Rosamond. Sludge sniffed his way down the step. Then we went to Crow's house. Crow opened the door. I stared at him. There was something missing. He was now wearing a sock on his left foot. Have you lost the tourist? I asked. No, Crow said. I have lost my sock. Do you know anybody who owns a tourist? I know that Pip and Oliver and Esmeralda and Eddie do not own a tourist, Claude said. They do not have my sock either. Can you look for it? I need the great M on a case. I must find out where a tourist lives. My case is bigger, Claude said. My sock is size 11.5. I cannot look for it, I said. I will give you a clue, Claude said. The sock matches the one on my right foot. Good idea, I said. Sludge and I walked away. Claude yelled after us. If you find my sock and it doesn't look as good as my right sock, I don't want it. I need a match. I made the great needed some pancakes. Sludge needed a bone. We went home. I took the tourist out of the box. He crawled around the kitchen. Slowly. Very, very slowly. I made pancakes. I gave Sludge a bone. The tourist looked at me. Was that a hungry look? You're full of flowers, I said. He kept looking. I gave him a piece of pancake. He took a little bite. Your owner must wonder where you are and when you're coming home, I said. You're one TARDY TORTOISE. I made the great 8 of pancakes and thought. I needed a clue. What did I know about this tourist? Did he have any friends or relatives? How about hobbies? I knew that he liked flowers, crawled very, very slowly, and kept his secrets. That was it. This tourist was never going to get anywhere. He was never going to be president of the United States or captain of the track team. He was just a pet, like Sludge. Suddenly, I knew what to do and where to look. This case is almost solved. I said to Sludge, I know who would know where this tourist lives. I picked up the tourist and put him back in the box. Let's go, I said. I made the grate and Sludge rushed to the veterinarian with the box. Tourists must come here just like most pets do, I said. There should be a record of where this tourist lived. He walked into the waiting room. It was full of dogs, cats, and people. The cats were meowing. The dogs were barking. Woof, woof. One dog was barking the loudest. It was Annie's dog, Fang. He looked mad. Fang has a sore tooth. Annie said, Look, I make the great did not want to look at Fang's tooth. I'm here on a case, I said. I opened the box. I need to ask the vet where his tourists live. Oh, a tourist, Annie said. I have never seen one here. I have never seen one here either, I said. But they do not meow. They do not bark. And they probably come here in a box. A tourist could be here and we would not see or hear him. Yes, Annie said, but a tourist is a reptile. This place is not for reptiles, but goldfish, goats, pigs, wolves. How do you know? I asked. Because they thought Fang was the wolf. The first time I brought him, then that's when I found out who doesn't get him. I next the rain sat down next to a noisy cat. This case was going slower than the tourist. This case had come to a dead end. There was only one more thing I could do. I could get the name of a reptile vet and go there and work into a waiting room filled with rattlesnakes, boa constrictors, lizards, alligators, crocodiles, and other creepy creatures. Some of them have sharper fangs than fangs. I have seen enough bites today. I did not want to see any more. Especially on me. This cat had begun with bites. The tourist was biting my flowers. Perhaps that was a clue. But what could I do with it? I looked at Slush. He was the only dog in the room who was not barking. He was sniffing. I thought about him sniffing the tray of tuna fish cupcake crumbs. A tray did not mean something. All at once I knew the tourist and Slush had given me the clues I needed to solve his case. We rushed home. We went into the backyard. I pulled out my magnifying glass. We are looking for a tray, I said. A tray of bite markers on the flowers. I looked to the right. There were no bite markers. I looked to the left. I saw bite marks shape his little U's on flowers after flowers. Follow those U's, I said to Slush. The tourist ate his way to our home. So we will follow the trail of bite back here until we reach his house. Slush and I crept through my garden, past the yews, on the petunias, on the daisies, on the flower, that flower. Then the flower stopped. So this Slush and I. The train stopped here, I said, and the cement works started. The tourist did not bite cement. We must go to the yard next door. Slush and I rushed to the next yard. We saw flowers and we saw yews. This is easy, I said. This trail leads straight to another yard. Slush and I made our way to the next yard. Then we stopped it. This is not easy, I said. This yard has no flowers. There are only weeds and grass. Are they on the tourist menu? Slush and I peered down. We did not see any yews, but we did see a tray of dirt where weeds had been, where grass had been. The tray zigzagged. Slush and I zigzagged. We zigzagged to the other side of the yard. The tourists had munched the crunched his way from end to end. Then the tray stopped. More cement. On to the next yard, I said. The next yard was full of rocks, but I saw something bright on the ground. Was it part of the flowers? I bent down to look. It was Claudia's sock. It was full of holes. I need the great have just solved the case I did not want to solve, and found the sock Claude will never want to wear. I picked up the sock and put it in my pocket. Roxana sock, I said. This year is no help. The tray is crude, but we will not give up. On the next year, was full of statues. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, 5 flamingos, and 3 ducks. There was nothing alive or green or glowing. The tourists could not have eaten here. The tray is getting cruder, I said. Snow White, the 7 Dwarfs, 5 flamingo, and 3 ducks cannot help us find the tourist home. But I think the gray will never give up. Slush wagged his tail. We went to the next yard. It was a mess. I saw pieces of flowers, pieces of wheat, pieces of grass. The yard had been beaten to death. Slush and I looked at each other. I naturally say that the tourist must have eaten many meals in this yard. This must be his favorite restaurant. And suddenly I knew why. I saw a fence with a sign on it. Beware of the tourists. I opened the box. I spoke to the tourist. Welcome home, I said. The case is solved. I took the tourist out of the box. Suddenly, a lady came from behind the fence. She ran toward us. Speedy, did you escape under the fence again? You're late for lunch. Lunch? I thought. This tourist never stopped eating breakfast. I handed Speedy to the lady. Slush tail drooped. He was sorry to see Speedy go. So was I. Speedy was a flower wrecker, a very slow mover, and he had nothing to say. But he was an okay tourist. We will be back to visit, I said. If you are here, remember where you live. I reached into my pocket. I pulled a cloth sock. I tied it to the top of a stick. I stuck the stick in the ground. A flag for you, Speedy. This land is yours. You ate it. Then Slush and I went the empty box started home. Slowly, very, very slowly. Bye-bye.